Michigan State wins 66-60 against Ohio State at home in a game that they did not play very well whatsoever, especially in that first half. Michigan State was down 26-23 heading into halftime, where MSU could not buy a single shot. And that was really kind of the whole game for Michigan State for the most part. In the second half, offensively, I thought Michigan State looked a little bit better, especially going up against the kind of the zone that Ohio State was playing. One thing that Michigan State has always struggled in under Coach Izzo is that really it's that zone, is attacking that zone. Now, last game against UCLA, I thought Michigan State did a good job of attacking the zone pretty early on, but they were also making shots from the outside as well, which really helps you against his zone. Obviously, in the second half, Michigan State did shoot a little bit better than they did in the first half, but still not necessarily the greatest shooting performance for Michigan State. Today, shot 26.7% from three, 40% from the field, 72% from the free throw line. But Michigan State got some really massive performances in this one, even though that they didn't play extremely well. And it starts out with Carson Cooper. I thought Carson Cooper was fantastic in this game. 20 points, 11 rebounds. We've seen Carson Cooper have big games throughout the season. Like, we've seen Carson Cooper in big moments have a game like this. And truly, he was the guy for Michigan State in this one. And he had several about 15-foot jumpers that he hit. I believe he had 3 of them that were in huge moments of this game, several different times. It's really showing you that his kind of a game has really evolved, right? Like, we all knew that kind of really offensive step forward that he's had defensively. I thought Carson Cooper was also good in this game as well. A double-double for Carson, though, and Michigan State absolutely needed him today, especially later on when he was kind of getting towards the inside of that zone. He needed to get right down in the middle, be able to pull up for about a 12, 15-foot jumper, and he hit it several different times. Carson Cooper, absolutely massive part of this win. Jordan Scott as well. Jordan Scott, I thought, looked really good. Jordan Scott is really coming into his own. He ended up shooting 4 for 7 from the field. Did miss a couple of free throws in this one, so obviously would love to fix that. 1 for 2 from 3, 12 points. He was on Bruce Thornton a lot of the time in the second half. Bruce Thornton was by far Ohio State's best player in this one. He had 32 points out of Ohio State's 60 points. Tom Izzo said after the game that their plan was to not allow Bruce Thornton to get into the paint, and that is absolutely not what happened. Tom Izzo did not seem very happy with how this game went for Michigan State. Basically said they're going to have a team meeting later tonight about it. Carson Cooper was also asked about it as well. Basically said, hey, that's kind of part of being a captain, is trying to get this team ready for March, just getting this team ready and really playing well at the right time. And Michigan State did not play well in this one, even though they ended up getting a 6-point win, which I don't think you should necessarily apologize for any win at this point in the league, any win at this point in the season, but obviously you want to be going towards the right direction, and I don't think this was a game that Michigan State took a step forward, and obviously Tom Izzo did talk about that as well. They said he did not get better in this one as a team as a whole. So that's definitely something that you have to kind of keep an eye on for. Jeremy Fears, I thought offensively was good in the second half. I thought he was a little bit slow in the first half. Did have 11 points, 8 assists in this one. He did have quite a few turnovers, 4 turnovers, and this was really kind of where the game went for Michigan State. You really have to talk about shooting and turnovers. They only had 10 turnovers in this game, but you really kind of saw how this game was going to truly start when basically the first possession that they had was a turnover. Like, Michigan State did not look good from the get-go. Now, obviously, in the second half, defensively, they were able to take a step forward. Offensively, they looked a little bit better, but this isn't kind of the step that you're wanting to see from Michigan State. Now, obviously, Jeremy Fears did hit a couple big shots in this one. He also was able to really hit his free throws when he absolutely needed to, but this was a game that truly seemed like Michigan State was going to kind of run away with towards the end, and obviously they did end up having a 6-point win, but there's also a little bit of kind of questions on officiating, right? Like, I don't think this was anywhere close to the best officiated game we've seen this year. I think it was a very poor officiating game, to be completely honest with you. I think there's fouls that were called towards the end of the game, especially against Bruce Thorn, that I don't think was necessarily fouls. And then there's one that wasn't called that should probably been an N1 to really kind of cut it to I believe it would have been a 2 or 3 point game at that point. So it's definitely a little bit interesting regarding there. Jaxon Kohler did foul out in this game, had 9 points, 10 rebounds, almost got a double-double. He got in foul trouble really early on in this one. It got basically 2 fouls in the first 3 minutes. Tom Izzo is one of those coaches that typically doesn't put his guys back in until the second half. He absolutely actually did, though. And Jaxon Kohler got his 3rd foul headed into halftime, and that's something that Tom Izzo, like I said, does not do a whole ton. But after kind of the game, he was asked in the press conference and basically said that, like, hey, he did it to kind of appease to the fans, appease to the media. And now he's like, hey, look at what happened. He got his 3rd foul. Obviously, Jaxon Kohler was put back into the game to gain a little bit of momentum. I thought Michigan State was stalling when he was out. I thought there was a lot of really kind of weird lineups for Michigan State throughout this game. Outside of that, Kurtang hit a couple of shots. Cohen Carr had a couple of plays here and there. Cam Ward had a couple of plays here and there. Obviously, Dan Wojcik played a little bit. Trey Fort played a little bit. But really, that's kind of it for the most part when it comes to individual play. I mentioned Bruce Thorn for Ohio State, obviously the best player that Ohio State had in this game, and he was actually pretty decently efficient. 12 for 22 from the field. Wasn't great at shooting the 3, which he isn't necessarily known for. Outside of him, it's Christopher Tilley. He had 10 points, and everyone else had less than 5. This is an Ohio State team that is not a very good team. This is an Ohio State team that has given MSU issues in the past, especially under Jake Diebler. It really seemed like Michigan State was going to kind of run away with it towards the end. But if you look at kind of the last little, like, couple minutes left to go, I already specifically mentioned a couple fouls that Bruce Thorn got that I don't necessarily agree with, but also Michigan State wasn't able to convert free throws. And I think that's going to be something to kind of continue to keep an eye on if you're a Michigan State fan. I don't think you'd be too concerned. Cohen Carr missed 2 free throws. Outside of that, like, you end up getting enough done. Jordan Scott hit his 1 to really put up 4, and then at the end of the game, it truly didn't matter because Bruce Thorn missed it, and that was really it. So, yeah, overall, not a really good performance for Michigan State. There's a little bit of discussion happening on social media about one of the fouls against Jeremy Fears. It looked like he did a little bit of a kicking motion, end up kicking the guy in where you do not want to be hit. But I want to put it to end that, in my opinion, that was absolutely nothing. I truly think the whole kind of discussion regarding that specific situation is dumb. In my opinion, I don't think he meant to do that whatsoever. I think it just happened. And it's one of those situations where obviously because of what he's had happen in the past, he's under a microscope. He's going to continue to be. But I think in that situation, there wasn't anything nefarious in that one. But outside of that, I think MSU, while they aren't happy, MSU is able to get the win. Now they're going up against Purdue. And they're going to have to play much better against Purdue if they want to win, especially going to Mackey, which Michigan State historically has not played very well at all at Mackey. So they're going to have to play better. They're going to have to hit some shots. Jeremy Fears is going to have to get going early. Jaxon Kohler, I would love to see him get a little bit more involved. I did like Michigan State getting the ball to him down low. I think that's something that's going to have to continue to happen more often. Carson Cooper, I think, will be important. Cohen Carr will need to hit some shots. Michigan State will need to hit jump shots from 3. They also need to be a little bit better from the free throw line as well. But yeah, let me know what you think of it. Do you agree with a lot of what I had? Do you disagree? What are your thoughts on this game? Put them in the comments. But if this is something that you enjoyed, feel free to like, subscribe, comment, all that kind of stuff. I will preview or recap the Purdue game after it happens. But thanks for tuning in to this episode, and tune in to the next one.